Alright, what's up guys? I was challenged by Trail Mixes RC to maybe produce a quick video on how to make these little straps out of some rubber bands and some paper clips. So I'm not really set up to film like this, so hopefully this will go okay. So what you need is laid out before you. You need rubber bands, of course. These are number 64. Got them off Amazon. I think it was like $8 for a huge bag of them that I'll never use all of. Paper clips. These are just from the dollar store. They say 50 millimeter. I'm sure they were $1 for quite a few. Now the thing about these is they're fairly good size, fairly thick, and fairly pliable as far as the aluminum goes. Need some scissors to clip your rubber band in half. Sharpie to mark your needle nose. Your needle nose, now all of my tools are very old. I've had them for quite a while. Pair of side cutters. Again, nice old tool there that I've had in my box that was probably my grandfather's. So, first things first, you're going to take your paper clip. You're going to unbend your paper clip by hand, obviously. Straighten it out. I think you can get probably 3 or 4 buckles, which is what we're going to be producing. And the hardest one to do is the little buckle. Let's see if that thing will focus there. So, first things first. So I mentioned about marking your needle nose. Now, you want a couple of marks depending on your needle nose, and you want to use needle nose because they are tapered and they are rounded. Most needle nose are like that. Now these are an older variety and they're not like super serrated in the jaws, so that makes it not mark the paper clip quite as bad. But the first mark you're going to make is somewhere on the needle nose at a point to where the rubber band is about as wide as the needle nose. That'll become apparent afterwards. So take your Sharpie and you mark it right there. Doesn't have to be exact, and you can kind of trial and error it. Now the next mark you would make would be where it's as wide as 2 thicknesses, basically, of your rubber band. And you really don't need to do this portion because mine ended up being just the very nose of the needle nose pliers. So, okay, tip number 1. Now we're going to start and we're going to work inside out. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to grab your paper clip right at the mark, okay, and you're going to be about flush with the other end to the outside of the plier. And tip number 2 is you don't want to bend it in your hand, because what that does is that just ends up bending all of the paper clip. So what you want to do is, I'm going to go down here, you want to put your needle nose on the table and you want to rotate your needle nose 90 degrees. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a L, and we're going to make a J, and we're going to make an E, and then we're going to make an 8. So first bend is 90 degrees like that. Okay. Next that we're going to do, and that's going to be, if I disassemble one of these here, that first bend is going to be the direct center section. Okay. So the next bend is only going to be as wide as your strap. So you're going to come down to the end of your needle nose and grab it like that, just right up against the L, and you're going to do the same thing. You're going to put it on the dick, and you're going to roll it 90 degrees. And what you're looking for there is your J. Put it in camera there. Okay. And this out here is just a bit of the plastic covering. So pull that out. So now we've got a J. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go right to our same mark. And going to put our paper clip and grab it at that same mark. I'm not used to filming, so sorry. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to put it on the workbench, and we're going to bend it 90 degrees. Okay, 90-degree bend. So what you end up with is a P. Now you can tweak these as needed. So you can close that up a little bit or open this up a little bit. So there you go. You got a P. Now you're going to do the same thing. Again, the narrow part of the strap. So you're going to grab with your needle nose at the very end of the paper clip. Now another thing that you want to make sure of is you're always keeping this flat to itself. Otherwise you'll get squirrely with how the clips are made. You're going to do the same thing, put it on your table, and you're going to bend it 90 degrees again. And then you end up with an E. Okay. Next, you're going to go right back to your mark on your needle nose. Grab it. Line everything up, making sure it's square. Okay. And you're going to do the same thing, and you're just going to roll it 90 degrees again. And then you end up with an 8. Now those you can take and tweak everything around as necessary. Okay, so you've basically got an 8 with a tail. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to take your side cutters and you're going to snip the tail right at the end. You need to hold on to both because once you use your side cutters like that, it's going to want to throw this tail end somewhere. So I grab both and clip. And you're left with basically an 8. And again, you can come in here and tweak this, tweak that, whatever you want to do. Like this one is a little misshapen. Okay, so there's your clip. Then you take your rubber band and run it through the buckle. Now this one looks to be a little on the big side. So what that means is the mark that I made was too far up the taper on the needle nose. I need to scoot it down a little bit. So the next one we do, I will grab it a little further down the taper. Now you could erase that mark and put another mark, but again, 90 degrees, go to the end, grab the end, 90 degrees, it's a little more than 90, you got a J, come in, grab your portion. Again, I'm staying a little bit below my mark because it was a little bit big. .90 degrees, keeping square. Now you got a P. Grab the end. Make sure everything's square. 90 degrees. You've got an E with a long tail. Come back in. Grab it. Inside. 90 degrees. There. That one looks much better. That looks more sizable. Same thing. Snip it right at the end. Now, you've got your buckle. Now, for another tip that you want to maybe do, I grab this, and I'll take another set of pliers, and I'll put just a little bit of a tweak on the buckle. I don't know if you can see that. It's just a little bit of an angle on the buckle. And what that does is when you thread it, it allows it to not be as bulgy in the center. So yeah, that looks a little better. I could tweak it a little more square. So, and then to thread it back through itself, just do just like you would a regular buckle. You would thread that around your roof rack tube or wherever. And there you go. Little buckle, little loop. Now another thing that I've made are these little J hooks. We're going to do that basically the same way, but we're going to take, and let's snip a little bit of this off. So it looks like you could get 3 out of one 50mm paper clip of the buckles. So for this one, we're going to grab our paper clip to make the J hook. Grab our paper clip right in the center, and that is 2.5, 3 inches. Really doesn't matter because we're going to cut off excess. Okay, so we grabbed it right in the middle. I'm going to do 2 things. I'm going to go 90-90 on both sides. So 90, 90. End up with a U. But the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cross these. I'm going to cross this here. I'm going to cross this here. And what I'm trying to do is make the cross dead center. Hopefully this is focusing. Dead center of the needle nose pliers. Okay? So what you end up with looks like a little bow. But the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take these same needle nose and grab one tag in, and I'm going to go a little bit past center when I grab it. Okay? And then I'm going to take my other set of pliers, and I'm going to make sure that this jaw is square with this end, because now I'm going to grab it and I'm going to straighten them to where everything's in a straight line. And what that does is that straightens this end up a little bit. And we're going to do the same thing the other side. I'll go a little cross, square up, grab, and straighten. So what you end up with is something that's halfway straight. Now you take your other pliers or what have you and kind of tweak these to where they're parallel. Of course, doing it on camera, I didn't do very well, but it'll work. Concept is the same. Let's tweak this. And tweak this a little bit. And if you have them to make the J clips, should have had all my tools. I didn't have all my tools sitting out. And where did they go? Oh, Mr. Jeweler's pliers, where did you go? My bench is a solid mess. I see them. Under a Land Rover. Okay. So these are jeweler's pliers. They're made for beading, and they're round on the nose completely. So you may not have these, but you can pick them up at any crafting store or off Amazon. And what we're going to do, and with these, take my other set of pliers, grab here, and I'm going to start from the end, and I'm going to start rolling these. I'm going to go down a little bit, I'm going to roll a little more, and a little more, and then I'm going to cinch up on the small section, and I'm going to back bend it a little bit. And what you end up with is a little J hook that you can thread onto the end of these. Again, this one was not very well made, but it'll work for demonstration purposes. Thread onto that, and thread onto that. And there we go. J-hook and a buckle. And they work very well. You get the all this out of the way. Go get the Bronco. Oh, there we go. Everything on here I've 3D printed. I've 3D printed these little storage boxes. The rack on top of the Bronco is 3D printed. All of these little coolers 3D printed. Little jerry cans are 3D printed. And I have taken these straps out trailing the other day, and they held remarkably well as I just pulled one apart here. So again, we take the ends, thread it through, and thread it through. So there we go. I don't know how long these rubber bands will last. I'm sure they'll deteriorate after a little while, as rubber bands do. But like I said, I got a bag of them, and for not much, and it'll be 10 times the amount that I need. So strap there. And I'm just hooking into the slots on the rack. Again, you can, just like any buckle, you can cinch these up to whatever you want to. Number 64 rubber bands are just a hair short. I wish they were just a little bit longer. I've got another bag of rubber bands coming that I wanted number 68s, but I couldn't find any on Amazon. Apparently that's an odd size because those are like 140 millimeters long. And these, I think, are half of that, 60 or 70 millimeters. So strap it. It's on there good. Let's see, where's my other one? There's the one I just made. Oh, again, to put these together, so there's a J-hook that I made that's a little better than what I tried to make on camera. But you just take these and you would thread it just like you would any buckle in through the J-hook, mindful of the J's both being pointed the same direction. And in through. Another tip, pinch the buckle like that. It makes inserting the rubber band easier. Same way on the other side. And there you go. 2 straps. And boop. They look like actual tie-down straps. And like I said, this thing took a tumble or two yesterday and everything held. Mileage may vary, obviously, but fairly decent. Okay, thanks for watching. Shout out to Trail Mixes RC. He's got a good Instagram channel. He's making a awesome garage. He just had a giveaway the other day. I wasn't able to participate, but no problem. He does have a YouTube channel also, Trail Mixes RC. Check him out. Thanks, guys.